Calling mom and dad for help during college for most students is part of the process, but it can be hard for students who don't have that option. That's why a program at UNT was created to help former foster kids thrive on campus, and it's called Push, Persevere Until Success Happens. What a great, great thing. Joining me now, Brenda Sweeten, the faculty advisor, and Push president, Jackie Davis. And I want everybody to check out your smile, Jackie. I know now how you got to be president. Tell me about this amazing thing and how it came about.
Sure. About 2.5 years ago, I was working on a child welfare conference at UNT, and we were going to do a panel for former foster youth as part of this conference to educate child welfare workers on just the experiences of youth in foster care. And I was aware of a young lady who had come to the University of North Texas, and she was very, had great academic potential. But when I contacted her to be part of the panel, she was gone. She was no longer at the university. And I became aware of the fact that, you know, socially and maybe financially, maybe she was lacking peer support. There were some things missing at the university that kept her from being successful at UNT. And about that same time,
would money be one of them?
Money is always one of them. I think finances are difficult. You know, if you don't have a parent to fall back on and you're at the university and you have some difficult, you know, a month where you come up short, there's no one to call. And so around that time, I came to know several students who were in foster care, Jackie Davis being one of those. And I contacted Jackie through a graduate student that I knew and said, you know, Jackie, if we had some type of program at UNT that supported foster care alumni, would you be interested in being part of something like that? And he was very emphatic, yes, I'd love to do that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
What did you think you needed? What did you think the program needed?
I felt like we just needed support on campus, and we needed to be able to share our experiences, and we needed someone to help us with resources. Learn the campus because it's a new environment. I mean, it's a huge environment and it can be scary.
How do you get money though? I mean, how do you, being in foster care, and usually parents who are foster parents don't have an abundance of money. How did you get a scholarship? Tell me how you were able to go.
Well, the state do provide a tuition and fee waiver for students that have been in foster care or have aged out.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. And it does help to a certain degree. You know, but there's things, yes, but there's things like toiletries, coats, things like that that doesn't cover those expenses.
Yes.
Computers, technology,
yes.
things like those.
Okay, so then tell me how this program helps provide that.
Well, I think one of the things that Push does is it really helps provide peer support first and foremost.
Definitely.
I think we find that most of the students that we have on campus that are foster care alumni are really lacking relationships. And relationships are so important. And I think with the young lady I was talking about a while ago, academically she could do it, but she didn't have the relationships that she needed. And so we've created this network of peer support. And then through that, we've done some speaking, some awareness type activities in the community. We've spoken at the Texas CASA conference, recently the National CASA conference, just to educate people in the community about needs of youth who are in foster care. Because I think once they age out of foster care or they become young adults, people forget that they still have challenges.
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Let's say that you had two parents and you went to college.
Yes.
And then let's say that you had no parents but foster parents and went to college. What is the difference between you with biological parents and you as a foster child when you meld in to make friends?
Well, I think one of the things is that with foster parents, sometimes they don't help you transition to college. Sometimes that's a barrier, you know, because you're 18, you're considered
and
grown.
When you're 18, you leave the foster care family.
Yes.
And then are you just out on your own?
Sometimes that's how it is. Yeah,
oh, Jackie, how did you maneuver?
Well, I had great parents. I got adopted. You know, I got adopted at 13 for a second time, you know, and I had them to kind of help me. But at UNT, you know, I had this program to help me fall back, and I had my peers and other students that were like me that's been through similar situations that we could depend on each other.
And so, are you a mentor now to other foster care?
I am.
You are,
and I love it.
I want to know something.
Yes.
You haven't had an easy life.
No, I haven't.
You've been kicked around. gotten someplace, adapted, and then had to move on.
Yes.
And so how have you managed to smile through that?
I think it's just God, you know, just the presence of God being there, and then just having people who I can really count on, like having the Brenda Sweetens and having the parents and having other teachers that are there to kind of push you through it and say, hey, you are somebody and you
are
matter.
somebody.
And so, and that's how I got through it. You know,
Well,
listening to
I'll
those
tell you,
positive
you
voices.
just gave a life lesson to us all,
Thank
that
you.
regardless of what the circumstance
No
and
matter what it
regardless
is.
of what we're going through, put that smile on the face. And you know,
Thank
when
you.
you put that smile on the face, you fool yourself.
Yeah.
You make yourself think everything's fine. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today, because this is really good to know. And I know that there are people out there right now who know foster children, and it's given us a new light and making us care more about kids who really deserve more than they've been given. Up next on the broadcast, if you are intimidated by gyms and boot camp classes, we are talking about easy ways to get started. Oh, here we go again on an exercise program, which I need to sign up to. We'll be back in just a moment.